Okay, doing a video on my way home from work. I'll upload this one probably a little bit later on tonight. Okay, so tomorrow is Warzone ITC, Central Coast. This is going to be the big one. There's going to be upwards of 40 people. Probably expecting 36, I reckon. But could be 40. Apparently there's 41 registered, so we'll wait and see. If I seem a bit jerky, it's because I'm in stop-start traffic. It's Friday afternoon and it's a shit fight. Anyway, okay. So we've got 5 missions. We're expecting they're actually just going to be the ITCs 1 to 5. So there's going to be a relic. There's going to be a purge the alien, so kill points. There's going to be the Emperor's Will and all that crap. So draw hammer and more bloody spots, along with the own special ITC flavour themajigs. All right. Thus far, the lists are not too surprising. I already spotted a couple of Inari lists from what I could make out on the actual BCP app, Best Coast Pairings app. The trick to that is, if you really want to see all the lists early, is to use the BCP player app, or BCP Best Coast Pairings app on iPad. As you can actually see the individual rosters, and that's not the actual one you use to run the game tournament. It's the one that's just part of it, just for entering results. The Android one doesn't seem to have that functionality in that regard. I mean, you can do it when you're viewing the points and the pairings, but not prior, so it's somewhat annoying. My list now on my site at alphahpg.com, which I forgot to mention. Go there for my ramblings. That's alphahpg.com, alphahpg.com. I did mention I was running the Rahadi. I decided against that last minute, and I've decided to take instead a various flavour of CADs and formation. So taking a CSM CAD, Thousand Suns detachment, Sorcerer level 3, 2 squads of cultists, just 10 each, bolt pistols and close combat weapons, and Magnus, and Aegis defense line with a comms array. Taking also a Demon's CAD, Zinch Martial level 3 Herald with Paradox. Also taking a Nurgle Herald with the Doomsday Bell, and 2 squads of Brimstones, and also taking Omniscient Oracles, Fady, and a level 3 auto change with the Impossible Robe. It was really a bit of a 50-50 whether I'd take the Impossible Robe or the Everstave. Everstave gives me a nice shooting attack, strength 5 AP 3, versus 3 up invul. I disappear on if I fail a wound and fail a leadership check, which can be somewhat problematic depending on the circumstances. But anyway, the list should do relatively well. I made some decisions based on what is possible. I would have liked to have taken a Screamer Star, but I just couldn't fit it in, unfortunately. That said, the Nurgle Herald with the Doomsday Bell, that's really a key point. The fact that he's shrouded as well on toughness 5 means he's going to be pretty hard to remove, unless someone's got strength 10 and I fail a 2-up cover save, because he will be in cover and he will be in the best cover possible, And the fact that he can go to ground means that, hey, it's going to be impossible to get rid of him, basically. Unless you're in combat. What else? Now, the fact. Well, let's go into Doomsday Bell a little bit and my theory and my thinking behind it. Doomsday Bell is -1 leadership across the board for the opponent. This is big because that basically means all your opponent's units have -1 leadership. How is this important? Okay. Your regular rank and file troops generally are leadership 8. Some of the good ones can be leadership 9. If you've taken a sergeant or equivalent for Marines, they're level 9. They're leadership 9. Chaos Space Marines are leadership 9. Though with the Veterans of the Long War being free for all the detachments, you can get leadership 10, which is quite handy. Nothing to be sneezed at. But yeah, it also makes so leadership 8 to leadership 7 is pretty big. The failing that on 2 DD6 is pretty good. Leadership 8, it's obviously a lot less, and leadership 9 is even less still. But leadership 7, you start getting into dangerous territory. It's a very, very solid little thing. It's 30 points, and we'll see how it goes. But its other benefit is also for Psychic Shriek. Now, some armies don't have Fearless or are stubborn. So for morale checks, that means jack. For Psychic Shriek, it doesn't. It actually still works. Unless you've got a specific power or ability that specifically says that you have no negative modifier, you can have no negative modifiers to your leadership, you're copping the -1. So I mean, Psychic Shriek, your average is 9 on 3d6. So you're going to most likely, most Psychic Shriek attacks, you're probably going to get 1 or 2 at least, which is always handy. That also works for other leadership shenanigans, but I'm not really aiming at that. I'm just hoping for failing morale checks and just things like that. This also comes in very handy for the Nari or whatever, Unade or whatever that new bloody Eldar faction, combined faction is. It's a disgusting, disgusting bloody thing. There is already 2 players I've seen with that particular list. I'm not too worried about it. It'll prove interesting though, to see how they go. What do we got? Back to the rest of it. As I said, it was all the psychic levels were taken not on a fancy whim, but on actual ideas. The Zinch Herald will basically roll Malefic and see how he goes. The Chaos Sorcerer, because he's level 3, he's actually, and this is an interesting little fact, because it's 1,000 Suns attachment, they can actually roll all their powers on the Zinch table. Now, prior to the what do you call it? Trader's Hatebook, I'm not sure which predates Trader's Hate or the Warzone Fenris, but basically prior to one of those books you had 3 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you rolled 1 or 2, you got 1 power. 3 or 4, got another power. 5 or 6, got another power. Now you've got 6 powers plus the default, plus the plus the Eye of Magnus, which is special again, which only he gets. Magnus gets. But there is some, unlike the change discipline, the Zinch table is actually really good and very solid. There's a couple of great witchfires on there which are utterly fantastic, and not too expensive warp charge wise. I actually wanted to go with Ahriman, mainly because he's a witchfire troll. He can fire the same witchfire 3 times, and it's just like, whoa, yeah. You roll 4 times on the Zinch table and you've just got yourself some pretty nasty shit. The only thing Zinch table doesn't have that change does is the Primaris, which the Primaris on the Zinch table is, in the change table is fan-fucking-tastic. It's fucking flickering fire. It is arguably one of the best psychic shooting attacks in the game. I would rate it very well. It's got its own downsides, but they're not terrible. The real ones for Zinch is Doombolt, Strength 8 AP1 beam, and if it explodes a vehicle, it's 2d6 and a 1d6 range. Little bit limited in regards to what it can hurt depending on the circumstances, but not terribly so. Can be quite effective, particularly if you pop a transport that's got a large amount of troops surrounding it, particularly low strength or low armor value, so that could be very interesting. You've also got there is a summoning one, I think, or is it change? I can't remember which now. And you've also got number 6. Number 6 is an absolute bugger. It's fantastic. Treason of Zinch. 3 warp charge. Basically choose an opponent's non-vehicle unit and you may make a shooting attack with it. After that shooting attack has been completed, you then proceed to make it take a pinning check. Obviously some units can't take pinning checks because of various rules or whatever, fearless or monstrous creatures, bikes and shit like that. But that said, that is horribly effective. I mean, how awesome is it being able to get rid of just a whole bunch of units? Thank you. How awesome is that? Just being able to shoot with opponent's unit. And it's got 24-inch range. So that's the reason why I decided to take the 3 levels on the Sorcerer. In hindsight, I wish I managed to find the 15 points to give him the Spell Familiar, because that would have made a pretty interesting help. I would have meant I could probably roll 1 or 2 less dice on it. What else? But yeah, it's the real bee's knees. That's your real kicker, and that's what's the big one for Magnus. Magnus is a bug with that because he's got rolls on 2s. In fact, if your opponent's got a high volume of warp charge dice, and particularly a Mentium Will and a Psyker, they're generally denying a 4-up in that regard. A Mentium Will is 5-up, Psyker +1 makes it a 4-up, which is pretty handy. So if you basically throw 6 or 7 dice at it, for example, with Magnus, you throw the D-beam at a unit. Now, one of the units can deny under that D-beam, so you can actually sort of force your opponent to sort of try and go, okay, am I going to try this or not? If they do try it, they'll usually throw everything at it. But you hold off like maybe 3 dice, maybe 4 dice, just to make sure you get that 3 dice off on Treason of Zinch, and then use that straight away after that if he's denied it. Smart players probably won't deny the D-beam unless it's affecting critical units. And to be honest with you, with the D-beam, you aim to sort of remove a couple models here and there from a couple of units to force leadership checks. Once again, Doomsday Bell comes into effect there. You're not aiming to sort of kill a unit unless it's beneficial to you. Wraith Knights, I'm looking at you. But that said, D under ITC is now just a straight 3. No saves of any kind allowed. So a bit of a meh. You're not killing a Wraith Knight in one shot with a D now, which is a bit shitty. But then again, they're not killing you in one shot either. So it's, that's for shooting attacks though. Close combat attacks, the 6 is still the 6. But anyway, I digress. But yeah, that's pretty much sums it up at the moment. Omniscient Oracles, rerolls are ones to hit, rerolls are ones in the psychic phase, and rerolls to wound. Is not preferred enemy. So it works in psychic and shooting and close combat phases. And that's actually important differentiation. So just something to note. Also rerolls for Cs. And here's the little, you've stayed this far, 16, almost 17 minutes now, ramble on. So here's a little tidbit if you haven't been paying attention to your ITC. There's a little caveat in the main page of the unit listings and all that, what you can take and what you can't, particularly in regards to Lords of War and that shit. There's a little caveat that I notice, and I don't think many people have. But if your opponent's running a super heavy and you're not, you get the old escalation bonus of +1 to the Cs and being able to roll on the Lords of War table, which is actually really good. You get Armor Bane, Flesh Bane here and there. You get rerolls to hits, and all bunch of random crap. But it's really good. I mean, hell, one of them's if you can deep strike, it can deep strike anything. You can deep strike within 6 inches of an opponent's Lord of War. You accurately deep strike. Oh, hello. Shit like that. That's handy. Particularly if you're going up against Imperial Knight, something like that, or hell, fucking a Wraith Knight with a couple of drop pods. You roll that one, and all of a sudden that Wraith Knight is suddenly beginning to get a bit worried, just a little bit. But anyway, enough rambling. I'll probably have a little update tomorrow morning on my webpage, alphahbg.com. I will also run a little video on the way to the event, while I curse up a storm trying to find a parking spot. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. I'm really excited. Sort of probably what I enjoy doing the most, even though I can get a little bit stroppy. But yeah, alright, that's enough for me. Check out fhbg.com, Best Coast Players app, Best Coast Pairings app, so bestcoastpairings.com, and the Facebook page, Warzone ITC, event details will be there. Also, I'll be setting up a Facebook page for alphahbg.com very soon. I will intend to do more of these videos as time goes on, probably in my car because it's the easiest. So yeah, thanks for your time. You've been with me for 20 minutes now. This is Heath from aka Casperian X from alphahbg.com, signing off.